50% of households in Parc Extension are people without cars. This is a fact. It is a fact. And I really do believe that the children of Parc Extension deserve bike path as nice and as secure as in other borough of Montreal.
That's the mayor of the borough that has a very long name, but that also includes Parc X, Laurence Lavigne-Lalonde, at council meeting on Tuesday. The tension, it's very tense in Parc X. We saw it on Tuesday. People showing up, both against and for the bike paths, showing up at this council meeting. We've seen reports of assault, seen instances of tacks thrown on the bike paths, these new bike paths in Parc X. It's really tense, and I sort of want to get to the bottom of this and what's happening in the borough. Let's go now to Sia Spanoudakis, who's a member of the, and you know what, let's point out that this is how serious things are, okay? How serious are the bike lanes in Parc X? Sia is from the Coalition for Democracy Parc Extension, and that name, I think it speaks volumes about how seriously the people are taking this. Sia, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you, Eli. Thanks for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Can I just start off? Because when I was looking at the name of your group, Coalition for Democracy Parc Extension, you know, if you were to just take someone who's not from Montreal and you show them that name, they'd assume, my goodness, they're rounding people up, throwing them in jails in Parc X. Democracy has been lost. But I guess it goes to how serious, how close to the heart this issue is for so many of you. Tell our listeners why this is so important.
People are frustrated. They're not being heard. What we're asking for is a dialogue with the Projet Montréal administration. All we're getting is a plan that has been decided upon behind closed doors, and we want a design that does not remove 250 parking spots from a very densely immigrant working class population that require the vehicle to get to work, for their livelihoods, in order to maintain their large families with young children. They also need their cars. I would also question the statistics that are being presented, 50% of households having a car only. Let's look at this picture. A family, 2 adults, 3 children, 1 car. That is 50% of that household who has 1 car. So we really have to be careful with the stats. I would really love to have access to the data, where it's coming from, how it's inferred to inform the decisions that are being made by the borough behind closed doors. I question if the needs of everyone in the community are being responded to.
Well, let me tell you, I think you got a point there, and it is interesting what you can do with numbers, right? So if you have let's say you have a family of 6 and they have 1 car, and then you have a single person who works at Université de Montréal and they walk to work, okay? And so that's 2 households, 50% of households have cars. Very different situations, right?
Sure. Again, we need to understand the demographics of the neighborhood. Yeah. Today, before the implementation of the removal of the parking spots, it is very difficult to find parking in this borough. And this is not a borough with houses that have private driveways. They do not. Multiplexes, working class neighborhood. We're not talking about luxury vehicles, people having 2, 3 extra cars just because. This is a necessity for people with mobility issues, families. People need to get to work. They need their car.
And, you know, I'd like to say that I don't have any skin in this game, but I go to Marvin's restaurant on Ball, and it's so delicious, and sometimes I need to park, so I guess I do have some skin in this game. Sia, listen, you heard the mayor of the borough, right? Just as we came in, Laurence Lavigne-Lalonde, and she said, hey, you got to think of the children. Those children deserve what they have in the Plateau, what they have in Outremont, nice, secure bike lanes. What do you say to that?
I completely agree. I question, there are 10 streets in Parc Extension that run north-south. Why was only 1 street selected to put the bike paths going north and south? Why weren't other options selected that are more secure, a less busy street than Curbs Avenue, to put a secure bike path? I have children. I would not want them to cycle on curbs. I would prefer that they cycle on a secondary street where there aren't that many cars going up and down. Emergency vehicles use Curbs Avenue as well, which is one of the reasons we were explained why curbs could not have been turned into a one-lane avenue in order to accommodate the two-lane bike paths. In short, we want secure bike paths. We want the security of everyone in the neighborhood, cyclists, pedestrians, and motorists.
How far are you willing to take this fight? I mean, obviously, tempers have flared in the borough, but how far are you going to take this?
Yeah, we're not going to stop. Okay, our name says it all. We're about democracy. We want public consultation. People are frustrated and taken to the street peacefully demonstrating because they want to be heard. They want to coexist. And I would also like to point out those incidents of with the tax and whatnot. These are isolated. In general, the majority of the exchanges in the community are peaceful, harmonious, but people are taking to the streets because they're fed up and they want to be heard. Next step, we have a GoFundMe set up. I would encourage listeners to support us. Just Google GoFundMe Coalition for Democracy Park Extension. We've already raised $10,000 in only 6 days. We need another $15,000 in order to start our next step, which is an injunction to the city and to commence legal action. We're going to sue because we want different options that will protect the security of everyone in the neighborhood.
You brought up one of those options, using a couple of the north-south streets and just having a bike path in one direction on a couple of streets instead of shutting down parking. But have you do you have support from anyone on Borough Council? And B, have you had anyone seriously go and renderings and that kind of stuff with a solution where everyone can be happy and present that to the city?
That is what we've been questioning. Our city councilor, Mary Darrows, has requested in the council meetings to have the studies that were done to better understand what the options were. To my understanding, she's still waiting. We have also asked that as residents who present ourselves to the council meetings. We're still waiting for that information to better understand what were the options that were considered. It's simple. When you start a project, if you have an objective, what is the objective on the table? Is it only to have a secure bike path, or is the objective to have a secure bike path as well as maintaining the majority of parking spots in a very densely populated neighborhood? The outcome will be very different depending on what the objective is that you start with.
Sia, we're going to have to leave things there. Thank you for bringing your voice to the program, and we'll keep track of this. If you end up in court, we'll talk again, okay?
Yes, and thank you. And please support us financially. It will make a difference. This is all going to happen across Montreal. We are for bike paths, secure, but we also need parking in order to survive. So please support us. Every dollar counts. Thank you so much.
Take care, Sia. So that's Sia Spanoudakis, a member of the, and get this is the name, Coalition for Democracy Park X, fighting for a different solution in that borough.